Morocco's history is often told through its dynasties, sultans, conquests, and empires. From the Idrisids to the Alawites, the narrative usually centers on Islamic rule, Berber identity, and Arab heritage. Yet beneath this familiar story lies another history ancient, deeply rooted, and inseparable from Morocco itself. This is the history of Moroccan Jewry, a community that lived, prayed, traded, suffered, and thrived alongside Muslims and Christians for over 2,000 years. Unlike many regions where Jewish presence was brief or violently erased, Morocco developed a unique model of coexistence. While not free from tension or inequality, Jewish life in Morocco endured across centuries of political change, religious transformation, and global upheaval. This long coexistence shaped Morocco's cities, economy, culture, music, language, and even diplomacy. This is not a forgotten story, but one often overlooked. To understand Morocco fully, one must also understand its Jewish heritage synagogues, hidden in Medinas, its cemeteries overlooking the Atlantic, its Hebrew-Arabic poetry, and the enduring memory preserved today by both Jews and Muslims. Jewish presence in North Africa predates Islam by many centuries. Some historians trace Jewish settlement in the region back to the destruction of the First Temple in Jerusalem, while others associate it with Roman-era migrations following Jewish revolts against Rome. By the time the Romans controlled Mauritania, Tingitan and roughly modern northern Morocco Jewish communities already existed in coastal cities such as Tingiz-Tandria, Volubilis, and Salah. Archaeological evidence, including inscriptions and burial sites, confirms the existence of Jewish life in Roman Morocco. These Jews were traders, artisans, and farmers, often integrated into local Berber society. Over time, many Berber tribes adopted Judaism, creating Jewish-Berber communities whose legacy would persist well into the Islamic period. When Christianity spread across Roman North Africa, Jewish communities remained distinct but active. By the time Arab and Muslim armies entered the Maghreb in the 7th century, Judaism was already a deeply rooted faith in the region. The arrival of Islam in Morocco transformed the religious and political landscape, but it did not erase Jewish life. Under Islamic rule, Jews were classified as al-Qata people of the bookend granted protected status as dhimmis. This status ensured freedom of worship, communal autonomy, and protection of life and property in exchange for a special tax and acceptance of legal inequality. In Morocco, this system often functioned with relative tolerance compared to other regions. Jewish communities were allowed to govern their internal affairs through rabbinical courts and communal leaders. They maintained synagogues, schools, and charitable institutions. While discrimination existed, violence against Jews was generally episodic rather than systematic. The overall pattern was one of pragmatic coexistence, shaped by economic interdependence and shared local identities. One of the most distinctive features of Moroccan Jewish history is the close relationship between Jews and Berbers. In rural areas, Jewish communities often lived among Berber tribes, sharing language, customs, and sometimes even dress. Jewish Berbers spoke Amazigh languages, participated in local trade networks, and acted as intermediaries between tribes and urban centers. In some regions of the Atlas Mountains in southern Morocco, Jews and Muslims lived side by side with minimal segregation. This shared identity challenges simplistic narratives of religious division. In many cases, local identity mattered more than religious difference. Jews were not seen as foreigners, but as an integral part of the social fabric. Throughout the medieval period, Moroccan Jewish life experienced cycles of prosperity and hardship under dynasties such as the Idrisids, Almoravids, Almohads, Marinids, Sogdians, and Alawites. Jewish communities adapted to changing political realities. The Almohad period was particularly difficult, marked by forced conversions and expulsions. Yet even after this trauma, Jewish life recovered. By the Marinid era, Jews had returned to major cities and resumed prominent roles in commerce and diplomacy. Jewish scholars, poets, physicians, and merchants flourished. Cities like Fez became major centers of Jewish learning, rivaling communities in Al-Andalus in the Middle East. One of the most visible symbols of Jewish life in Morocco is the Mellah Jewish quarter. The first official Mellah was established in Fez in the 15th century and later replicated in cities across the kingdom. The Mellah served both as a form of segregation and protection. While Jews were required to live within its walls, the proximity to royal palaces often meant increased security. Inside the Mellah, Jewish life thrived. Synagogues, schools, workshops, and markets created vibrant communities. The architecture of the Mellah, with its narrow streets and shared courtyards, reflected both constraint and resilience. Today, many mellahs still exist, some restored, others fading, but all bearing witness to centuries of life. The expulsion of Jews from Spain in 1492 transformed Moroccan Jewry forever. Tens of thousands of Sephardic Jews crossed the Mediterranean, settling in Moroccan cities such as Tetouan, Fez, Meknes, and Rabi. These newcomers brought with them new religious traditions, languages, and intellectual energy. Over time, Sephardic Jews merged with older Jewish communities, creating a uniquely Moroccan Jewish culture that blended Andalusian, Berber, and Maghrebi elements. Spanish-influenced Judo-Arabic and Hokasha became common languages, while Sephardic liturgy reshaped religious practice. Morocco became one of the most important centers of Sephardic Judaism in the world. Moroccan sultans often relied on Jewish officials as diplomats and advisors, particularly in dealings with European powers. Jewish merchants served as intermediaries in international trade, connecting Morocco to Europe, the Ottoman world, and sub-Saharan Africa. Figures known as Tuyur as-Sultan, the sultans, merchants played key roles in diplomacy and finance. Their multilingual skills and transnational networks made them invaluable to the Moroccan state. This relationship, while beneficial, also made Jewish communities vulnerable during times of political instability. Still, it highlights the deep integration of Jews into Morocco's political and economic life. Moroccan Jewish culture cannot be separated from Moroccan culture as a whole. Jewish musicians were instrumental in preserving Andalusian classical music, performing alongside Muslim artists at royal courts and public celebrations. Cuisine also reflects this shared heritage. Dishes such as couscous, pastilla, and dafina show how Jewish dietary laws blended seamlessly with Moroccan flavors. Festivals often mirrored one another, creating parallel rhythms of celebration. Language further illustrates coexistence. Jews spoke Moroccan, Arabic, Amazigh dialects, and later French and Spanish, often switching effortlessly between them. The arrival of European colonial powers in the 19th and 20th centuries brought profound change. French and Spanish rule introduced new educational opportunities, but also disrupted traditional social structures. Many Jews benefited from French schooling and legal reforms, gaining access to modern professions. However, colonialism also created new divisions between communities and challenged older forms of coexistence. Despite these changes, Moroccan Jews largely remained loyal to the Moroccan throne, seeing the Sultan as their traditional protector. During World War II, Morocco came under the control of Vichy France, which imposed anti-Jewish laws. Sultan Mohammed V famously resisted these policies, refusing to hand over Moroccan Jews and declaring them as subjects. While discrimination occurred, Morocco avoided mass deportations. This moment remains a powerful symbol of moral leadership and national unity. After the creation of Israel and Moroccan independence, the majority of Moroccan Jews emigrated to Israel, France, Canada, and elsewhere. This mass departure transformed Morocco's demographic landscape. Yet Moroccan Jewish identity did not disappear. In the diaspora, Moroccan Jews preserved their traditions, music, and attachment to Morocco. Today, Morocco actively preserves its Jewish heritage. Synagogues are restored, cemeteries maintained, and Jewish history taught as part of national identity. The Moroccan Constitution explicitly recognizes Jewish heritage as a component of Moroccan culture. Festivals, museums, and interfaith initiatives continue to promote remembrance and dialogue. Morocco's Jewish history is not a footnote, it is a foundational chapter of the nation's story. For centuries, Jews and Muslims built a society defined not by perfection, but by coexistence, in a world often divided by religious and cultural conflict. Morocco offers a powerful example, a civilization enriched by sustained by memory, and strengthened by mutual respect. Understanding this hidden history is essential not only to honor the past, but to imagine a future where coexistence is once again seen not as an exception, but as a tradition.